All right, let me ask you about your opponent. This is Katherine Deves. You've called for her to be disendorsed. Has she ever used the words Nazi or Holocaust? Is that what you took umbrage with?
Oh, I take umbrage with a number of her views. I think she is a classic example of politics of division and shock. My real question is for Scott Morrison to have where his values are, that he feels that he reflects her views. This is about creating division. I think this is a bit of the dead cat strategy. You put something very controversial on the table and that distracts away from other issues. We've seen this week this issue take up all the oxygen, as opposed to talking about Federal Integrity Commission and climate policies and communities that are still homeless on our East Coast after flood ravaged. New South Wales government has gone to bat for them, but federal government has refused to assist those communities. So again, I think the question really here is does Scott Morrison really feel that her values reflect his? Is this a liberal party under Scott Morrison? Feedback I get from the community is no, and they reject it strongly, as do New South Wales moderate Liberals like Matt Keane.
Okay, but she was a captain's pick, so I can't see her being disendorsed. The feedback I've been getting as well is that perhaps not it's a first order issue, but I think parents are a little bit concerned about what schools might do if the occasion did arise that there was a trans person wanting to compete in women's sports. So do you think they should be blocked?
Well, I think there's a lot of lying going on about the actual status quo. So I have people saying, because we already have law. And when you put to people, do they think this should be legislated? It already is. The Sex Discrimination Act already deals with this situation, and all our national sporting bodies have made clear that that legislation works well. It allows them the flexibility to deal with each case and club situation individually with flexibility, but importantly to focus on well-being and fairness to all athletes, which is not something Ms Deves or Scott Morrison are seeking to do with this policy issue. So with respect, this is just not an issue. And saying that parents will be concerned is just repeating I think a transphobia line. There is
So do you think some concern about parents is transphobic? That's not fair, is it?
No, but it is, because we are talking about a minority of the population that is already incredibly vulnerable. At elite level, it is so rare. You have not got this rush of events where it's happened. And at community level, sporting codes are focused on making sport inclusive, fair and welcoming for all. And all this policy approach opts to do is seek division. If we're really worried about the safety of women in sport, let's talk about sexual harassment and intimidation and the cultural review that have occurred within sports because of coaches and administrators. Let's talk about equal pay for women in sport. Let's talk about media attention of women in sport. But really, to pick out this issue is just to really, I think, amplify a situation that simply is not there.
Okay, perhaps we need to have a debate. You and Katherine on Sky News, would you do that?
Well, I would be concerned that further amplifying her views is only putting a very vulnerable community already at risk. I'm happy to debate Scott Morrison on this one. I think it would be more appropriate than Katherine Deves.
Zali Steggall, have to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.